Hey, what's up guys? This is Ian back with another video, and today I am going to talk about these budget IEMs from KZ. They are the ZS10 Pro, so stay tuned. Alright guys, my name's Ian. Welcome to my channel. If you guys are new to my channel, do consider to subscribe if you like this kind of content. And if this is not your first time here, thank you so much for your support. Okay, today I am going to talk about these KZ-ZS10 Pro IEMs. Alright, previously I reviewed the KZ-DQ6, and this time round I am going to review these KZ-ZS10 Pro. Right, these pair of IEMs are a very popular pair of IEMs in the community, and I just got these myself. By the way, if you are interested in getting one of these, I will leave a link in the description down below so you guys can go check it out. Right, by the way, I bought these IEMs with my own money. I'm not sponsored by KZ or any audio shop in any way. So let's just open this box here. Obviously, I've already started using the IEM, so I'm going to show you the unit later, but I'm just going to show you the box itself. So basically, on the box here, it says the KZ-ZS10, and it's some in Chinese. It's got 10 hybrid drivers, okay, dynamic drivers. And on the outside of the box is just the picture of the IEMs. At the back, it's got some details on the impedance, the ohms, and all that jazz. Okay, so let's take the cover out. This here, this is how it is. Okay, and then on the inside you get some black ear tips, and you get some warranty card, which is not here anymore. Okay, and let's just take a look at the IEM. So these are the IEMs right here. Okay, so it's really nice. I chose the blue color, and it really looks nice on my ear. Okay, here you have the TRRS tip, so you have the 3 rings right here, and you have a recessed kind of a tip that you can actually plug into your mobile phone, and if you have a case, this should help you plug into your mobile phone. Alright, so let's first talk about the cable. I'm not a great fan of this cable. This, if I'm not wrong, is a 4-core braided cable, and it's a bit brownish. It's a tangle rat's nest to me. It always tangles up, and you know, I have a hard time trying to untangle this cable. Okay, but these are the standard cables that comes with most of the KZ IEMs. And for this model, I chose the one with the mic. So as you can see, this cable comes with the microphone, and then there is a button here for you to start and stop your music and pick up your calls. Okay, so much for the cable. I'm not a big fan of these cables. The memory stiff silicone on this part here is not that great as well. As you can see, it's not really formed nicely on this side, but on this side it's pretty okay. Right, so I think the quality check on these IEMs should be looked into. Okay, but that said, I think the cable is pretty okay. It's usable. I do recommend, if you can, get the upgraded 8-core cable from KZ's as well. I think it should sound better and look better as well, and doesn't tangle as much. Okay, so much for the cable. So let's talk about the IEM itself. So on the exterior of this IEM is actually made of metal or aluminum, if I'm not wrong, and then it's got this kind of a brushed finish to it. right? And it's got some nice etching and pattern on this, which is pretty nice. But I just got one gripe. This edge here is pretty sharp, and sometimes it catches on my fingernails, on my skin, and I think it should be machine cut, but it's pretty sharp on this edge here. Okay, so just to highlight this part here. On the inside of the IEM is pretty okay. You can see the 10-inch dynamic driver right here, and then you have 4 BAs, which is the balance amateur drivers somewhere in there, which I can't really tell where they are. And on the side of the IEM here, you have the 0.75 millimeter 2 pins, which most of the KZs would have this kind of 2 pins on their IEMs and their cables. And the tip on these, let me put the cable down first. The ear tips on these IEMs, the stock tips are really stiff. I would say they are not comfortable in my ear, and I do get fatigue when I put them on for too long. So I do suggest for you guys to change out the tips to a custom one, or maybe an aftermarket one which you are more comfortable with. I would suggest maybe the foam tips from KZs, and those should be more comfortable. And the next thing I want to talk about is the seal. The seal on these tips are not great. You will not get a great seal from these stock tips. So again, I do suggest for you guys to get another set of tips to fit with this IEM. Okay, but the nozzle here, I'm happy that they use a steel nozzle. Okay, and the nozzle is not really narrow, is not as narrow as the DQ6, but they are okay. It's, well, not the greatest. If I were to compare, these nozzles do get right out into my ear canal, and it pushes my ear canal just that little bit. So in terms of comfort, these are not as comfortable as the DQ6, which I've tried before. But yeah, the filter here is pretty okay. I'm pretty happy with it. And what I like about this nozzle here is the lip. So technically, if you have ear tip stuffed in there, the tip will not go anywhere. It will not come loose, it will not drop out, it will just stay in place. And so that's what I'm happy about. All right, and let's talk about the driver. So previously I mentioned there is a huge 10 millimeter driver, dynamic driver right here, and there are 4 balance armatures placed somewhere inside. So basically the 10 millimeter dynamic driver will handle the bass, and then you have 4 other BAs that will handle the mids and the treble. Okay, so I think the build of this is pretty okay, but I do hope that they can adjust the fit a little bit, because I do feel a little bit of fatigue when I put these IEMs in my ear, and it hurts my ear. So basically the fit is not really good for my ears. It may be different from for you guys, but for me it's a bit fatiguing. And the next thing I want to highlight is that the fin that they had for the BQ6, I hope that they will implement onto this ZS10 Pro. Okay, but the acrylic on this cover, on the back cover, I do like a lot, and the finishing on it is pretty okay. And I like the color of it, because my favorite color is this color, and I like this color, and it's transparent, it looks nice. Okay, so much for the exterior of these IEMs. Okay, let's talk about sound. Okay, so basically sound, it's okay. Let's talk about the bass. The bass, I would say, is very clean, right? It gives out a very clean bass. It's thumpy, but not as powerful as I would expect. I mean, for those bass heads out there, I do still recommend these IEMs, but I wished it was more thumpy, and the treble for the bass, I wish it could go longer and further and deeper. The bass is not as deep as I would hope, but it's there, it's strong, it's clear, it's detailed. Okay, the bass is firm, very bass sound liking. Okay, I don't know that it came out right, but it's very bass sound liking. But the thing is, it's not muddled, it's not woofy, right? It's strong and clear and pronounced. By the way, these IEMs, they have the V-shaped tuning to it, so I would expect the bass to be more pronounced than as it is now. But well, if you compare it with the DQ6, these bass would be stronger, cleaner, but not as thumpy. Okay. All right, let's talk about the mids. All right, the mids are okay. It doesn't cross over too much to the bass, and it doesn't mix up together with them. And the vocals are pretty okay. It's not as bad as the DQ6. For these ZS10, the vocals, male and the female vocals are pretty pronounced. It's not as recessed as the DQ6, but it's not as forward as I would expect. Okay, and but if you were to listen to more of the pop kind of songs, these I would say is acceptable. Okay, but I wouldn't say it's very good. But instrumental wise, in terms of the separation, it is there. The soundstage is pretty wide. Okay, and I think the imaging on this is very clear. You can hear the vocals in the middle, you can hear the bass or the drums on the right, you can hear the guitars on the left. You know, the imaging on this IEM is really good, and I can really hear very clear, wide range of sound coming from this. I think the range, it should be 7 to 40,000 kilohertz. So well, that is a very wide sound stage. Basically, you know, it gives out sound that humans cannot hear. Okay, that's how great these IEMs are. Okay, let's talk about the treble. Treble, wow, I think these have the best treble I have tried, and they are really sparkly, really high, not screechy. All right, it falls off at certain level, and it's very detailed highs, right, compared to the DQ6. When I listened to the DQ6, the highs are pretty cut off, because you know it drops off. Okay, for the DQ6, but for these are really clear on the highs, and it's not screechy, and it's sparkly in that sense. And when I listen to the cymbals and all the hi-hats, these are really great, very detailed, and the instrument separation for this on the highs is really there. You can hear it, and yeah, I do enjoy the highs on these IEMs. Okay, and yeah, that's it. So I have many big praises for this IEM, the ZS10 Pro, But what is lacking for me, because I'm a bass head, it's lacking that bass, the deep bass, that the sub bass which I'm looking for. But if you ask me, I'm happy with it. I'm not unhappy with the bass, but it could be better, okay, compared to the other IEMs. Okay, so that's it for this IEM. I hope you guys learned something from this video. If you did, do consider to give it a thumbs up, and remember to subscribe to my channel if you have not done so yet. Alright, that's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you again in the next video. Cheers!